All right, why are women easily replaced? Israel, giving all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles, elder bishops, a great millstone. Much salutation to the brothers teaching the word for the hopeful elect, soon to be elect, most high will, to hopeful extend elect, one blessings. Men, women, and children. Why are women easily replaced? Well, let's start with the younger women. A lot of times it's rebellion or not listening, of course. Too goofy, too out of pocket, too much energy, too wild, snapping necks. Snapping fingers in their necks. You know how they act, the attitude. Like, uh, I think Method Man said in his song, I can't quote it word from word, but he was saying that he basically been dope or whatever since Antoinette had that attitude. You had like Monica, it came out in the 90s. She was, Miss Thing and all that. Um, which is a lot of the case if they're not supervised by a authoritative figure that, comes with instructions and discipline. So, or you could be an old woman set in your ways and you become stubborn and bitter. And you could be married to a man and he be like, damn, this, ever since, and this usually happens after marriage for some reason, um, or children. You can have a female and she be young. Y'all meet when y'all 18 or whatever. Knew each other in high school, maybe a little bit after. Next thing you know, like 5 years in, when relationship usually lasts longer back then. Now today, as soon as the baby born, it's a 1 year relationship. But anyway, then you be like, y'all feeling, y'all have fun, y'all sexually, compatible, if that's the right word, just having fun. And then when you get together, you move in with each other, you really get serious where start going joint with each other as far as property and different things, sharing things. You have a child, and then it's really no time. I mean, things get serious, and women are very serious when it comes to their stability. That's why I said knowledge, wisdom shall be a stability at thy times. It ain't gonna be no money. It's gonna be knowledge and wisdom. But they really get serious. So they a lot of times, different instances in the relationship, through the relationship, they bitter or they get triggered, and then you be like, well, yeah, I've been dealing with this for a couple of years now. Especially if you're older, and some men get trapped into just knowing a woman, like, got children already, so it's like, damn, man, can't really move around like that no more, got obligations. But he wants to leave. And then he would have chosen a different path. He probably would have. He's like, that comedian Earthquake, he said, shit, he wanted to see the video where he take off the ring and hop out the limo and go back home talking about how he shouldn't have married this woman. They got a movie called Why Did I Get Married? According from probably more from a woman's perspective, through the eyes of that demon ass Tyler Perry. But he's a flame, man. But really, in it, you just like, damn, man. I'm in a hard place right now. And when you grow older with a woman, so to speak, you can easily desire a younger woman because she's vibrant, she's playful, and a lot of we all like to be reminded our childhood or back then when you were younger, you know 19, had your first car, your first date, and your first female, and the good times, and you thought you were going to live forever. So and women think it's creepy. Ugh, that's nasty. You messing with little girls and all that, just because you are older man and more wiser. Well, let me tell you what King David did. Well, here's a scripture about King David. 1 Kings 1:1. These are kings. Now, when you're a celebrity, nobody really cares, man. Like you could be, like I use that example. Brooke Shields, when she started fucking with Michael Jackson, he was like 28 or something, and she was 13. She said it herself. She said it her damn self. Aaliyah, the same thing with R. Kelly, but R. Kelly is the only guy out of all these celebrities that he's just such a bad person. And that weird shit, okay, that's that Illuminati shit. All these celebrities on that shit. But he just got picked out of the bunch, the black face, the male, the face of a black man, picked out all that and bypassed out of all these motherfuckers. Woody Harrelson, what's his name? Nah, not the other one. He's a rat. He was with a 13-year-old girl. But anyway, let me get this scripture right quick. Now that's not expedient, but I'm gonna show you. If you're saying that's creepy, this is what you're saying about King David. King David's condition. Okay, the younger woman found to care for King David in his old age is Abishag, the Shunammite. If I'm saying that right. King David's condition. King David was very old and could not get warm even with many clothes. His servants looked all over Israel for a beautiful young virgin. What does that mean, man? Because we had a custom that if you a virgin and you sleep with a man, that's marriage. And if you sleep with another man besides your husband, that's adultery. So it was a young woman that was around, and you can ask that. I asked Google, young virgin to wait on the king, care for him, and lie in the bosom to keep him warm. I asked Google, and it tells you that she was like 12 or 13. How old was the Shunammite woman for David? 12 to 15 years old, man. He's an old man. She's 12 to 15 years old. What the fuck? This is that Western mind state, man, that these women have. They are thinking after the devil. They are thinking after Edom. That's why when you say grape in this place, they be thinking about Esau as a grape. Like, there's some creepy ass man in the bushes. No, these men that did, that what is considered grape, whatever, it was like siege. Like they just, pull this woman by arm or something and tell her, come here, what the hell are you doing? You like me, and and usually that was the case. Women did seduce these men. They seduced all these men, a lot of these men, and then but they'll be like, they'll be like, damn, they might get with a man and say, I chose the wrong man because this he's not the king. Just like Coming to America. She said she got with Simi, and he said he was a prince, but Soon as she found out he wasn't the Prince Hakeem, she was like, "Oh, why do my sister always would get the good ones? Oh, so you just threw it all out the bag? Now all the stuff we talked about, even if I lied to you, okay, I get that part. But but you immediately just say, nah, damn, I should have, or the woman probably tell you I should have chose your brother. Damn, he got it going on. He seems more successful. See, that's why these women are going to be destroyed in Babylon too. Like they're going to be like Lot's wife, a pillar of salt, man, a pillar of what is that sulfur? That stuff that's left after the radiation after the bombs drop. But anyway, same thing with all the other men, Jacob, and they had young virgins, man. And the thing about it is these women, they talk out of place and they talk shit and they got mouths on their box. They far from being virgins. I'd rather hear a shit talking woman from a virgin that hadn't committed adultery all day. She'll run them out. I'm like, damn, this woman, boy. But I'll say, well, at least she's a fucking virgin. At least she ain't no adulteress and all that. I'll put up with that shit. But you have a woman that's been sleeping with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, like always, and she's known around the block and shit. She just slept with a neighbor. She'll sleep with a man right next door to her husband, right in his bed, his own friend, his best friend, his father, his, everybody, his cousin and all that. Even his sister. She'll go the lesbo way. So all this dirt and all this fuckery that these women do, and they want to pinpoint this as the one of the major things of offenses. Oh, she's pretty young for him. He's creepy. See, and that's America. They display the old age as these creepy dudes and shit. That's Esau's ass. He's the creepy guy. He's the one that fuck goats and play with his balls when he watching other people having sex and shit, man. Have his woman go sleep with a young boy, a young Jake, and get off on it. That's Esau. What else, man? I don't want to make this too long, because you ran all day, man. 1 Timothy 5:14. I would therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, because when she's married young, she's going to be guided. What did it say? If any woman asks anything, let her ask her husband in the home. She's going to be guided, even though she's guiding the house and she's bearing children. She's going to be supervised by her man, instructed by a man. So it's best for her to marry, because and give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. Yeah. So you're not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be rumors, hearsay going through your house. That's just that shouldn't be. Gossip and all that. That's what women do. Gossip. Gossip is just talking about everybody's lives, lives and flaws and fuck ups, and basically not yours. That woman that sits on the porch and watches everything, you living directly across from her, and she watches everything you do and shit. So even if your sister come and visit, she's like, I saw another woman over there. It didn't look like, whatever. And then she automatically, oh, who is this bitch? That's my sister. Yeah, right. So, they give, what do you call it? They instigate things, man. And then you got, well, let's say you have a man, and then he's wealthy, he gets around and all that, and it's called getting around. But he got money, he's taking care of the house, and he's taking care of the bills and all that. And then he takes a trip, and he might take a trip with his family, his brothers, and yeah, you should just stay home with the kids. Oh, because I don't want to take that many kids. I don't want to take all the kids. I just want to, this is my time to, you know, catch up and pretty much rest or whatever. Or just sometimes a man just don't want to be around what he's around all the damn time. Like, I see y'all every damn day. My kids, my wife. Give me some time to my damn self. But she thinks she going out there and getting some box. Now, if you do get some box, but that's the worst thing ever for a woman, for a man to get another woman, and it's biblical. We can have more than one wife, but that's one of the key factors to the breakup of these homes, is the woman even assuming, not even knowing, but assuming even. Well, I just wanted to get divorced because I feel something's not right. You know. So, but through all her relationships, 2, 4, 5, 6. Next thing you know, it's 50, 30, 50, the 50, 100. All the men she slept with, yeah. No, I'm not a hoe. And I can't find the right man. And all those men was abusive. How? They all hit you? No, they were verbally abusive. They call you a bitch. Not in those words, but I know what they're saying. I know what they're insinuating. You just make it is what it really isn't. And if, to be fair, like these women are coming out saying, it's best to just accept the fact that a man can have more than one woman. Because if you've been dealing with that ever since you were young, then that means that's just what the case is. It's almost like trying to change you know, change your nationality. Change the people or the parents you came from. You got some dorky parents. That's just who they are. Or you got some, you know what I'm saying? You come from a background of pimps and hoes and drug dealers. That's just how you are. I mean, how it is. That don't mean you have to be, but you definitely came like, damn, I'm from that, I'm from that type of family, man. So you might make changes according to that, but yeah, I'm just saying, and not saying that's that kind of people, because we fell into those traps. But I'm just saying, this is biblical. This is how it's been since the beginning of time. So, Mary, same age, pretty much. Because you remember, Mary grew up under the law. She didn't grow up as like an Americanized woman. She grew up under the law. So a lot of stuff she understood of the customs of Israel. These women over here, they don't understand the customs of Israel because we've been disconnected from our heritage, discontinued from our heritage. So they grew up thinking like this harlot. They grew up thinking like America. So when you mention things that go back to customs and Eastern type of thinking, they be like, nah, that's going off. That's y'all wrong for that. Y'all pimps, and they don't use the word adultery or use the word evil. They just say y'all players and playboys and pimps and all that, and trying to hustle me and trying to get me to listen to you on your side. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like you and I'm not glorifying pimping. We're not pimp. We're not. It says in the scriptures, Deuteronomy, whoremonger. We're not supposed to be whoremongers. But you know, And it says in the scriptures, thou shalt not have sodomite from the sons of Israel, or whore from the daughter of Israel. So we're not supposed to raise our women, or have our women as whores and have our daughter as whores. You know. So how y'all gonna call us evil? We denounce all that shit. Anyway, so you know, you'll have, and Jake don't really know how to. He don't really know how to care. The common Jake, he don't know how to take care of 2, 3 women. Not even with his words. I mean, you don't have to be the richest man. All you have to do is tell them women what to do. Have something to do for them. You know, you could pick out jobs that don't require labor, and and then they give you all the money. So they can't be like, well, we the ones that work hard as hell. No, you got a sit down job and shit. You sew. And then when you can't do that, other woman, you got a couple of them, or maybe one of them that might have a home job that make as much money as the other women. You just got to orchestrate that shit. But it's not really even the time to have wives. It says in the scriptures, they that have wives be as they had none. But I'm just saying, Jake he's occupied with fast money, so he becomes a hustler, pimping and shit, and selling drugs. And that, of course, that's not the right way to go. But even if Jake had it figured out where he orchestrates, which in the truth, Most High had us figured out in the Holy Spirit, we know how to do it now. And it's trouble still. It could be burdensome still because of this American way of how women think. So it's kind of like we pulling back layers of misinformation, pulling back layers of lies and all that. And there ain't really no time for that. So it's better not to even deal with them. But in any case, you might have a woman you deal with, and you might have a couple you deal with. And one of them might be older, one of them might be younger. For you older women, the younger women, you might get a little side out of that because she's going to be full of energy. She's going to be new. She's going to be fresh. She's going to be, and she's going to listen to him because she really haven't been really taught by anybody or supervised by anybody, So that's another reason why women get jealous. You can be a 50-year-old man and get a 20-year-old woman, and she be like, look at him. He fucking with little girls and all that. You talking about King David. He was a heart after the Most High. He had a heart after the Most High's, a heart after the Most High. Y'all women don't realize that Most High value men way above women, especially when it comes to his elect. So you trying to be on an equal level with us, you're not even you're pretty much seen like that by the Most High. He love his sons. He'll deal with his sons and forgive his sons. Like I said, I made a physical example. Shit, you tell your pops, I got this woman pregnant, pops. You're like, see, I told you, son, don't be fucking with those women and shit. Go out there, now you got a baby. And then he see the woman, and she's fine as hell. He be like, damn, son, you didn't came up and shit. I see why you got inside her, son. But let's best believe, you women hear most of the conversation among men, even if you're married to them, even learning from your mother about your father's conversations. But those are the conversations that they have that they don't mind the women hearing. But the ones that away from women, shit. You'll have a man saying to a son, hey, I know your mom be tripping, man, but shit, hey, I don't care who, hey, son, do what you do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, mama talking about I just need to settle down because I'm all over the place. And then sometimes that is good advice, but, I don't think no parents have really ever been mad at their son for bringing home different women and shit. Now with a woman, it's different. You a hoe, you a slut. And women act like they wonder why they get that label. It's for a reason. Cause y'all ain't supposed to be fucking around like that. Y'all ain't supposed to have multiple men. And y'all got to understand that y'all get pregnant to bring forth a child to men. That's why a lot of women were happy because they say, Most High gave me a man child. They ain't never say that about a daughter. They say, Most High gave me a man child. Mary was happy as hell when she found out that she was going to bring forth a man child, Yahweh Shai. If it would have been a daughter, she's like, well, we'll try next time because we waiting on the prophets. We waiting on, it's prophesied that these sons will be born. The sons of God, the sons that are the elect. With the women, you just like, yeah, go help the house and watch over your little brother and watch over your little sister. You have 3 women, daughters. Yeah, watch over your younger girl, your younger sisters. And then when a man child is born, you be like, damn, your brother's gonna grow up to protect y'all. He's gonna grow up, as a handsome man, and he's gonna, be a great asset to the family. But that's not happening now. That's how women look at men now and look at their children. Like I said, you cuss the father out, you cuss your father out, your husband out, you might as well cuss your son out. You cuss your son, and then when he has a son, and it's just a revolving door of bitterness and evilness toward the man. So you can't say you love your son and you don't love the father. Or you don't love your husband. As Yahweh Shai said, that you can't love me. And if you say you love me but not love the father, that's vanity. You're basically going off in your thoughts. You're evil in your thoughts. Or he that say he love me and hate his brother is a lie, and it shall be worse than hell upon him, paraphrasing. So these women don't know it's a body, it's a connection. They always talk about that independent shit. Everything is a body. You connected to something. Can't be independent and shit. I don't depend on nobody, no man, no female, no bitch, depend on that damn job. Get you a check. Somebody set that job up. Somebody's a boss up there. So women don't live reality. They live the American way of lies, thievery, robbery, and whatever, hoardism, and whatever come out of this bitch ass place. That's what they believe in. That's what they live by. And that's why a man can choose a springy woman with no knowledge and wisdom, with all that. She hasn't learned so much of the corrupt ways, and she just want to have fun, and she just, and when I mean by goofy, I mean too goofy, like she don't listen to the instruction. But there's nothing wrong with having a woman that's like, yeah, she just fun, and she don't really think. She just do what you say. She don't really, and the other women say, oh, you dumb. You listen to everything he says. He got you wrapped around his finger. That's why he'd rather deal with her than you. And a lot of these women that speak like that are wrong by information or lies they've been taught, or they've been regurgitating things from their mother, which is a one-sided, bitter-ass woman that hated the man because of some kind of status. He might not be the richest man in the world, but he got all these women on him. He got the young women like, ooh, I like you. Y'all better get in place, man, you women, because it's gonna be a bitter outcome, man. It's gonna be a very bitter outcome for you women that got a problem with the prophets, that got the problem with hoary head men. You're going to be misguided and guided right into the missiles, man. Anyway, to the next video, hope is edifying. Shalom.